Thank you. And now please welcome Julie Turner, the president of the Texas Tea Party PAC.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Today is October 8th. In just 3 weeks, we'll be voting in one of the most important elections in our country's history. We will have our chance to strike back against a leftist agenda pursued over the objections of the American people. Since the presidential election, we've seen our debt load reach 62% of the economy. We've seen unions move to the front of the line in the Chrysler bankruptcy. Obamacare is already costing American business more. Employers are dropping health insurance plans. Private insurers are leaving the market. And in the tradition of never letting a crisis go to waste, the Obama administration issued a drilling moratorium, which would have the effect of crippling the oil industry in the Gulf. But about 1.5 years ago, the Tea Party movement formed and pushed back in a way that none of us ever expected. And the media still hasn't figured us out. Candidate Obama actually got it right. We do cling to our guns and our religion. And private property rights. He left that one out. We honor the rule of law, and we want our laws enforced equally, whether it's to defend the Arizona border or to encourage legal immigration in Tomball, Texas. Our numbers continue to grow. Now, 1 in 4 U.S. voters is either part of the Tea Party movement or has close family or friends involved in it. Even Nancy Pelosi says she shares some of our views on the role of special interests in Washington, although I'm not quite sure we see things exactly the same way. Our call to you tonight is to vote in the election, and please take 3 conservatives to the polls with you. Take 3 conservatives to the polls with you, first because it's our responsibility to vote our values. Voting our values means looking beyond the party propaganda to support the candidate whose values are closest to ours. Secondly, take 3 to the polls with you to send a resounding message to the administration and Congress. We actually don't need to pass the bill so we can see what's in it. Finally, take 3 to the polls with you because we know, unfortunately, the other side cheats. Voter fraud threatens the very foundation of our democratic process. Our friends, the King Street Patriots, and their True the Vote effort are shining a brave, bright light on rampant voter fraud in Harris County, and they deserve our support. Tonight's event is unique in the Tea Party history, certainly in this area, because this Tea Party is a PAC, a political action committee. In addition to advocating on issues that we care about, we can put money into political ads that name names. Your donations tonight will fund a billboard and a direct mail campaign that starts next week. What's our goal in this campaign? In CD 17, which is College Station up to Waco, Chet Edwards voted yes on the stimulus, yes on the GM Chrysler bailout, yes on cash for clunkers, and is now running an ad declaring his opposition to the Obama-Pelosi agenda. But it's too little, too late. In CD 17, we want to see Bill Flores beat Chet Edwards. Gene Green's been in the House of Representatives since 1992, and he hails from CD 29. During last summer's town hall on Obamacare, he told us that constituent views don't matter to him, that Gene Green decides how Gene Green votes. He voted yes on Obamacare, yes on cash for clunkers, yes on additional stimulus spending, and no on extending the alternative minimum tax exemptions to avoid hitting the middle class. We'd like to see Roy Morales beat Gene Green. And in CD 18, with Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. Where to start? Americans for Democratic Action rates her voting record in recent years as 100% on the left side of legislation. She has a history of dangerous decisions and a tradition of embarrassing behavior. In fact, the best thing about Sheila Jackson Lee is probably Michael Berry's impression of her. Would you like to see that later? Would you like to see John Falk defeat Sheila Jackson Lee? Me too. You're here tonight because you're paying attention to what's going on politically. You're tired of it, and you want to help take back our country. What more can you do? Number 1, vote. 2, donate to candidates or PACs that reflect your core values. 3, talk to people around you about our common values. The program that you got when you came in tonight is full of information that you can use to talk to other people. 4, stay in touch with us. Right now, there's a volunteer card in that program. Please take it out and fill it out. And then you can just drop it into one of the volunteer card buckets on the way out. It's becoming pretty obvious that there is a Republican wave coming in 3 weeks. But a number of these new representatives will not truly represent our core values. They will not. And when they don't, we'll throw them out too. Don't get discouraged. We in the Tea Party will likely have our greatest effects in the primaries, both Republican and Democratic. Imagine a day when candidates from both of our political parties stand up for the Constitution, stand up for constraints on government spending, and look to the markets to solve their own problems rather than stepping in right away with more regulation. Without becoming a third party. The Tea Parties can make that happen by supporting candidates with our core values in the primaries. That means we can soon have 2 good choices when it comes to voting in the general elections. I'd like to thank all the volunteers and sponsors who made this event possible. And I'd like to especially thank Suzanne Guggenheim for her courage and leadership over the past year and a half. Thank you to all of you out there for what you've done over the past year and for what we will do together next. Have a great time tonight. May God bless America.
Give it up for Julie Turner.